Hello and welcome to this module in a series of videos to support self-directed learning. This video will give you some specific tips on how to develop a growth mindset. Students with a growth mindset find challenging coursework motivating, not discouraging, because they understand that our intelligence grows with effort. Consider the following student's story.
I have felt that math is just not my thing, and that's okay since I'm better at other things. Also, my parents have always said my brother is the one in the family who is good at math, but not so much me. When I'm in a math class, I sometimes feel frustrated. Math seems to come so easily to my brother and other people in my classes. I guess I'm just not a math person. I know I need to take math to graduate, so I chose the easiest course. Even so, it doesn't matter what I do, I won't be able to get an A. The best I can hope for is to pass this course, and so I'll just do enough to pass. No point in working too hard.
This reflection may sound familiar. It may be your experience or those of your peers. It shows that students often have a fixed mindset about their intelligence or talents. This means they believe that people are born with a certain amount of intelligence and nothing can increase it. Students with a growth mindset believe they can develop their intelligence through hard work. Research shows students with a growth mindset are more likely to succeed in school. This video will give you tips to understand what growth mindset is, develop a growth mindset, and find additional resources to support your learning. Let's start with your brain. Think of it as a muscle. Your brain changes and grows as you learn new things. Think about something you can now do easily you couldn't do when you were younger. Maybe it's playing a sport or an instrument or speaking another language, even riding a bike. When you first attempted this, did you struggle? You most likely did. Everyone struggles when they start something new, but we get better and faster with more practice. This is due to something called neuroplasticity. Your brain is comprised of billions of cells called neurons that send signals to each other like an electric communication network. Scientists have shown how neurons in different parts of the brain send each other signals as we process information. When you learn new things, you are strengthening the connection between those neurons. This means your brain can adapt and change, making you smarter. Not only can your brain grow, but your actions can make it grow. Growth mindset is the understanding that you can grow your brain through hard work and effort. Alternatively, a fixed mindset is the belief that your brain is a certain way and cannot change. Students with a growth mindset are more likely to challenge themselves and succeed in their efforts. Let's take a moment to reflect on your own mindset. For each of the following statements, rate yourself from a score of 5, meaning you strongly agree, to a score of 1, meaning you strongly disagree. I like my work best when I can do it perfectly without any mistakes. I like my work best when it makes me think hard. When I work hard, it makes me feel as though I'm not very smart. I like work that I'll learn from even if I make a lot of mistakes. Look over the statements and take a moment to pause the video to consider your answers. If you agreed with the odd-numbered statements more than the even ones, that suggests you might have a fixed mindset. If you agreed with the even-numbered statements more than the odd, you are already cultivating a growth mindset. Next, we will share some strategies that can strengthen your growth mindset. The first strategy is to combat negative talk. Instead of focusing on the negative, reframe your thinking to see a challenge as an area of growth. Consider this student's story.
My first semester in college, I enrolled in a biology course. My high school counselor had told me years earlier that science wasn't really my strongest subject, but I wanted to challenge myself. When I got my first quiz back, I was really disappointed in the grade. My imagination was going wild. What if the counselor was right? What was I thinking by signing up for this class? I told myself that I was messing up as usual and that I was out of my league. These thoughts were like dark clouds that followed me around for days. After a while, I realized that these voices in my head were making me feel discouraged and sad. I could barely bring myself to open my biology book. I needed the negative thoughts to stop. So I started challenging them. When one would come up, I'd say, "I'm doing the best I can. This grade helps me understand what I need to study more." I'd replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts. I have overcome challenges before. I remember when I used to struggle with singing, but now I'm so proud of my voice. Even if I don't succeed at first, I can learn from my mistakes. All these things helped me bounce back from the bad grade, regain my sense of perspective, and focus on my studies.
Take a moment to pause the video. How did the student reframe their thinking to be more positive? The second strategy is to celebrate mistakes. Your brain grows more when you make a mistake than when you get things right. The process of taking the time to understand why you got something wrong is a powerful engine for mental growth. Mistakes will happen. If you do make a mistake, work through the following steps. Admit your mistake and take full ownership. Don't blame anyone. Review all available feedback carefully. Define exactly what you did wrong to understand why and how you made the mistake. Develop a plan of action to correct the mistake. Consider checking your plan of action with a good friend or family member. Once you follow these steps, you'll find that you have a more positive feeling about the mistakes that you make, and you'll realize that they are just opportunities to grow your brain. Take a moment to pause the video. Think of some mistakes that you have made that have ultimately taught you how to improve your performance. What mistakes have you made in your current class that you might explore more closely? The third strategy is practice makes perfect. Consider this student's story.
When I first enrolled in an online statistics college course, I found it really hard to keep up with all the content. It just seemed super complicated, but then I remembered how I learned how to make free throws in basketball. It took me a lot of practice until I could hear the swish of the net. I had to start from 2 feet from the basket and keep practicing my form. Only after a long time could I make the shots consistently. With that in mind, I stuck with the stats class. I completed all the practice problems assigned, even those that I thought I already knew how to do. I reviewed my class notes and searched on the internet how to further understand key concepts. Even if I finished a homework assignment, if I felt any doubts about my approach, I asked my instructor for more practice problems. Even though it took me a little longer, I realized that this extra practice really helped me to learn.
Take a moment to pause the video. What skills have you developed through repeated practice? What areas do you think you should practice to excel in your current class? In this video, we outline 3 tips to help you develop a growth mindset. Tip 1, practice positive talk. Reframe your thinking to avoid thoughts such as, "Well, I'm just not a math person," or "I'm just stupid." Remember this video. We can all grow our brain. Tip 2, celebrate mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities to learn. Your brain grows more with each mistake and reflection you make. Tip 3, practice makes perfect. Academic learning is just like sports, music, or art. After this video, you'll be asked to record your answers to the questions throughout. You'll be asked to reflect on a time when you overcame a struggle to learn something, and to reflect on the times when you failed at first, but through perseverance, your brain became stronger and you eventually became better at the task at hand. This video and these tips are just the beginning. Your college will have additional resources. Reach out to your instructor or tutoring center. Developing a growth mindset takes time. You may even say you need a growth mindset about developing a growth mindset.